of culture, the five components of culture. And here is our second title, Building Blocks of Social Structure. What's a social structure? I will tell you. But first of all, keep in your mind that any single human being can simply do more than one task in his life at a single time. For example, have a look at you. You, by yourself, you are a student, a son, and a grandson, and a teenager, and a football player, and maybe who can help me here?
A
You can
gamer.
do a gamer, a YouTuber. So, at the meanwhile, anyone can fulfill different tasks, or, in order to be specific, different roles in his life. Okay? Like our example here. She is a working mother. Okay? She is working as a teacher. So, logically, she will teach. Okay? Go to school every single day to practice her job. And also, she is a mother. So, she has escort her two kids to school every day. At school, after her teaching roles are done, she have to attend some meetings within her colleagues. As you see, they are bored during this work meeting. Okay? Then she wanna have some fun in her life. So maybe in the weekend she will go to have some fun with her colleagues. And at home she have lot of chores to do as a mother. Okay? So who is she? If I wanna identify this lady here, which one of them I'm gonna use in order to identify this human being in the society? Which one of them do you think? Teacher? So your job as a teacher is better than your job in the real life to be a mother, for example, to raise your kids?
It depends, mister.
It depends. Depends. Let's talk about yourself. Okay? If I want to identify you, if I want to assign a status, a role for you nowadays, in the meanwhile, which one should I choose?
A student.
A student? So a student is much better than teenager. Okay? Leave this question for now. Leave it for now, but remember it at the end of the lesson. Okay? I will show you how to answer this question, how to choose one of these different roles. But let's talk about the social structure first in order to have a clear idea about what I'm talking about here. The social structure, guys, consists of two items, statuses and roles. Okay? Every single one of us occupies a status, but he plays a role. What does this mean? For example, your status nowadays, let's say, like your friend adjusted, you are a student. Okay? How are you gonna fulfill this status? By studying, by going to school, by finishing your assignments on time. This is your role. So your status is a student and your role is to study. That's it. But in order to be specific a little bit, how we gonna use different statuses? Okay. Some statuses are given to us by birth without any effort. Like, for example, like to being born of a royal family. Of course, you will earn yourself a title of a prince. right? Without any effort. You didn't work for it. It was simply given to you by birth. Like your gender. You didn't choose your gender. It's a status that was given to you by birth. You didn't work for it to be a male or even a female. So without any effort, you will earn some statuses in your life, and we're gonna call them ascribed statuses. So the ascribed, they were simply given to you, the position a person holds in society, assigned on the basis of factors such as gender, race, and age. Of course, you didn't choose any one of them. They were simply statuses given to you by birth without any effort. Please keep in your mind that if you didn't get any item, you can simply interrupt me and ask me your question. Mister, I didn't get this item. I can simply repeat it for you. Okay, guys? Is it clear? Please do not let me talk to myself a lot.
Clear, Mr.
Clear, yeah, Mr.
Other
Yes, sir.
statuses, in order to earn them, you have to work for them. You have to achieve them. They were not simply given to you, like your gender or like your race. Like to be a student, of course, in order to earn yourself this social status, you have to work for it. You have to go to school. You have to study. You have to do your homework. And also to be a doctor, a teacher, a basketball player. All of these achieved statuses, you must work for them in order to achieve this social status. Okay, guys? So the social structure consists of statuses and roles. We have two kinds of statuses. We have the ascribed and the achieved. From its name, achieved, you have to work for them. Ascribed, they were simply given to you by birth. Let's have a look at this example, guys. A 16-year-old African American boy. How many statuses are here in this phrase?
3.
3. Where are them? Can you tell me? 16.
First of all, teenager. He was 16 years old, so he's a teenager.
So teenager. Here is one.
He's in a minority, black in America.
So you can say Yusuf. That's 16. Teenager is 1. Hamza, sorry. 16. Teenager is 1. African American is 2. Or
Yes.
only African?
I guess African American is just the
African
same
American. African American is 2. So boy.
My boy is
3.
a teenager, same. My boy,
Boy teenager. So this gonna mean 2 social statuses. Okay? Thank you.
But boy
Who else?
indicates gender.
Boy reflects gender. Okay. 3
3
social statuses. Any other response or only 3 statuses are here? Do you agree?
Agree.
Okay.
Yes.
In fact, a 16-year-old, a teenager. Here is one. African, his race. American, his ethnicity. Boy, his gender. So we have 4 ascribed statuses here. Okay, without any effort. With doing simply nothing in your life, you have earned yourself 4 ascribed social statuses. Okay, regarding this example. Teenager, race, ethnicity, gender. So you occupy a status. Of course, every single one of us occupies more than one status. Okay? How we gonna fulfill the status? How we gonna practice our role in this status. There are simply some expectations for being a student. Okay, for this status, for example, to be a student, of course, we have some expectations, generally talking about students to go to school, to do your homework, to finish up your assignments on time, and so on. So we have role expectation. We have role expectation. Okay. But of course, in the real life, we are not living in utopia. In the real life, we have something else. We have some bad students. We have some weak students, for example. Not all of them will go to school. Not all of them will take their quizzes, for example. So, our example here, a doctor treats his patient with skill and care. Of course, if I'm sick and I want to go to the doctor, I expected him to treat me with some skill and care. But in the real life, of course, the real performance is not like the expectation. Some doctors do not treat their patients with the best possible care. We have some, for example, some medical mistakes. Maybe after doing a medical surgery, you will have some kind of side effects, or you have get yourself some kind of a bad treatment. You will get yourself worse, not better. So generally talking, guys, the social structure, you occupy a status, but you play a role in your life. This what I mean by a social structure. Statuses and roles. Two kinds of statuses, ascribed and achieved. For the roles, we have some expectations to play the role in the real life. But in the real life, we have some exceptions. Statuses ascribed and achieved for the role expectation and the role performance. Any questions until now? Or it's hard to get? Is it hard, guys? Yes, be my guest.
No question, Mr.
No question. I thought I heard you that you have a question. Okay. Status, by the way, is a socially defined position in a group or in a society. So the definition of a status will be a socially defined position in a group or in a society. Every single one of us have multiple statuses at any given time. You, by yourself, you can simply start counting. You will figure out that you have 5 or even 6 social statuses at any given time. Okay? Like any one of you, anyone can say his social statuses. Can you think about yourself?
Not way, Mr.
Talk about yourself. You are a boy. Here is 1. Teenager. 2. Okay.
Immigrant.
Immigrant. 3.
We are most of us are immigrants.
But immigrant, I think it's here in Saudi Arabia, they use another term, expatriates. It's better than immigrant because immigrants means that you will not go back to your home country. So it's a tough word to use. We can say that expatriates. Okay.
Yes.
Who
Muslims?
else? Student. 4.
Muslims, Mr.
Sorry?
Muslims?
Religion.
Muslim.
Yes.
5. A
son.
son. 6. A brother. 7. A grandson.
So,
If you have
some of
your
us an uncle.
grandparents. 8. Some of you are uncles. Okay. 9. Football player. 10. A driver, for example, if you have a part-time job or if you want to have some fun, for example, you can start counting. You have a lot at any given time, okay? But if I want to use an identification, like the case we have already mentioned, we have mentioned until now 10 or even 11 social statuses, right? But if I want to identify you right now, which one of these social statuses I will use? To be a boy, to be a teenager, your ethnic background, your nationality, for example, your religion, your condition to be a member of a family, or what? In fact, to solve this issue, sociologists have thought about the master status. The master status nowadays for you is to be a student, is the greatest role in sharpening a person's life. Okay? For you, for this condition, to be a student, your master status is achieved or ascribed. To be a student.
Achieved.
Achieved, yes, of course. But maybe for some of the people, their master status will be ascribed, like to be a member of the royal family. Of course, this gonna be your master status all over your life, to have the royal title, right? Like Prince Henry, for example, or regardless of the problems or the issues with his mother and with his royal family over there in England. Okay, but his master status is a prince. Nowadays, your master status will be a student. Okay, got the issue? Please do not get
Yes,
let
sir.
me
Yes,
talk
master. Yes.
myself.
Yeah.
Okay, okay, guys. So the social statuses describes an individual's position in a group or in the society as a whole. The social statuses consist of or have two kinds, the ascribed and the achieved. The ascribed, that the person holds the position the person holds in the society without any efforts, without any effort of him. It was simply given to you after your birth. Okay? On the other hand, the achieved statuses, you have to work for them. In order to earn these statuses, you have to spend some effort. The master status, the one that I'm gonna use to identify you nowadays in the meanwhile. So your master status can be a student, for example, nowadays, and the master status, guys, can be either ascribed or achieved. No problem. But the one that I'm gonna use to identify you at any given time, it will be the master status. Let's go on. Let's have a look here at this lady. Okay. How many statuses she holds in the meanwhile?
10.
And
10.
10. Let's see. She's a friend. She's a worker. She's a student, a team member, a classmate, African American, 17 years old, female, sister, daughter. So, at the meanwhile, she holds 10 social statuses. Some of them are achieved and the others are ascribed. Okay. If I want to choose one to be the master status, it's gonna be a female, a team member, a classmate, a daughter, A friend? Student, of course. Student. As you notice, she is holding some books. Until now, guys. Until now. Do you have any problems? Social statuses. Socially defined positions in the society. Every single one of us holds multiple statuses at any given time. Okay? You occupy a status and you play the role. In order to fulfill your status, you have to practice your role. Some of the statuses are achieved and the others are ascribed, given to you without any effort. Let's go on. The role, like we said, we have role expectation and we have the role performance. Okay, so the definition of role will be the behavior expected of someone occupying a particular status. You occupy a status and you play a role in order to fulfill your social statuses. Keep in your mind that some roles in our lives needed a partner, that you cannot play your role without a partner. Like in order to earn yourself the title or the status of a husband. And I think this is logical talking. Have you gonna earn yourself the social status of a husband without a wife, right? How you are gonna earn yourself the title of a brother without your siblings, student, teacher. So there are some roles in the real life requires a partner. These roles are called reciprocal roles. Okay, keep it in your mind, guys. Reciprocal roles define patterns of interaction between related statuses. Without a student, there is no teacher. Without a wife, there is no husband, by the way. Okay, guys, reciprocal roles. Of course, we have some expectations, like we have mentioned some at the end of the previous lesson about role expectations. Do you remember the most important term in sociology? Does this ring a bell? Guys, my friends,
Can you repeat what you said? 'Cause I didn't hear you.
the expected behavior, we have mentioned this
Norms.
item. Norms, thank you very much. The expected
Norms,
behavior,
yeah, Mr.
guys.
Norms.
Norms, yes. So norms is something like the role expectations are the socially determined behavior expected of a person performing a role. Of course, the role expectation of a doctor, for example, is to treat his patients with skill and care. But in the real world, we have the actual role performance, the actual behavior. Of course, we have some bad doctors, for example. Some doctors do not treat their patients with the best possible care. So the role performance does not always match the behavior expected by society. Is it hard, guys?
No, it's not that hard.
Let's continue or let's stop at this point. Any questions until now?
No, sir, all good.
Okay, Nawaf. Nawaf, would you please tell me what's the ascribed status? Nawaf Abdullah. Nawaf.
Yes, sir.
Can you please, Nawaf, tell me what's the ascribed status I'm not asking you about the model answer. I'm not asking you about the definition. You can express it using your own words.
The ascribed status.
Ascribed statuses. As you know, Nawaf, we have two kinds of statuses. We have the ascribed and we have the achieved. So I need you to tell me the ascribed. What are
So
they?
you want me to give you an example?
No problem. Give me an example.
A status you get without effort.
This is the definition, right?
Is it the definition?
Yes, this is the definition.
It is?
Yes. You are reading it from the presentation, right?
Which presentation?
This presentation in front of you.
No, I didn't read it from here.
Okay, good for
Is
you.
it, Mister, is a way to, it's like a term for a social status?
Yes, that's it. Can you tell me an example?
Does it, maybe an author? Does that count?
An author. So an author is simply ascribed statuses. So he was born an author without any effort, right? Nawaf.
Yeah.
Keeping your no. Who was born to be an author? Ascribed, Nawaf, given to you without any effort. Achieved, you have to work to achieve them. So author is achieved.
Okay, so ascribed, does it count like your gender or?
Yes, exactly. Your gender.
color of skin.
Yes,
okay,
exactly.
No, I understand.
Okay.
Okay, thank you.
So welcome. If I ask Muhammad Ali, can you tell me something about the role expectation?
For example, construction workers, you expect them to make a good building that will not fall.
Exactly.
But this does not happen always.
Yes, exactly. So the achieved statuses, Amir, what are them? Amir Ra'id.
Yes, Mister. Yes.
The achieved statuses.
Statuses?
Yes, the achieved statuses. What are them? Achieved status.
When like when it's like you're a friend, you're مثلا a player, but you don't play, so it's not achieved. But if you play, maybe if you're you can't be a husband without a wife. So to achieve that, you need to marry.
Yes, you have to spend some effort in order to achieve this status. Thank you very much,
Work for it.
Amir. Thank you very much. Okay, guys, this is gonna be the end of our lesson today. Until we meet again tomorrow, have a nice time. Assalamu alaikum.